How's it going, guys? It's Wexxim Investing here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the market. I've been gone for a few days over Christmas, obviously, and while I was gone a lot of stuff have happened, so we just need to jump into this and take a look. So Valve has changed how the rare cases are dropped. Before this update, 1% of all cases come from the rare drop pool. Now Valve has completely removed that 1% rare case drop chance. This has very different effects depending on the case. For truly rare, low supply cases like the Weapon Case 1 or the Operation Breakout case and similar older cases, this is a huge supply shock. These cases don't see massive unboxing numbers, and now that there's zero steady supply entering the market, this is a big difference. Over time, this means one thing. As a case gets opened, supply keeps shrinking, and prices naturally get higher. However, for rare cases with massive supply, this change makes almost no difference. Like for example, the Prisma, Danger Zone, Kilowatt, that already exists in huge quantities, and their unboxing numbers completely dwarf what the older one supply even added. So this update heavily favors actually rare cases, not just cases labeled as rare. Like for example, the Weapon Case 1, we normally every single month got a steady supply of around 9 to 10,000 cases every single month into the game again. But we also saw unboxing numbers of about 13 to 14,000 unboxings every single month. What this means is that previously we were losing about 3 to 4,000 cases every month of the weapon case, but now we're losing 13,000 cases every single month. And this is a massive difference because what's happening is we're losing about 300% more cases than before. But for some of the other cases like the Kilowatt, like I mentioned, or the Prisma or the Danger Zone, we're losing very minuscule amount extra. So that's something that I would be looking into right now. Something like the Weapon Case 1 or the Bravo case, to cop some right now while you still can, because I think it's completely realistic that these cases could go up a lot during 2026. Hey, before we continue, I have to tell you about my own website, Wexxim Investing, where you can track all cases and check today's market. You can also see my investments and see my videos. And lastly, it's the place to join the biggest CS2 investing community out there. In the Discord, you can make friends, talk to people about investments, and ask any question you have about your own investments. After that, a great investor will give you a detailed breakdown in return of any question you have. In the Discord, we also offer buff balances, we offer giveaways, we offer graph analytics on all collection and cases, and we also have a bot tracking Chinese inventories, giving us early indication if an item is about to be manipulated. And we also have mass notification alert if any big update is coming into the game files, and I am honestly so happy to see what it has become during 2026. And I am positive that we will continue to grow this family. If you like CS2 investing, head on over to Wexxim Investing. Let's get into the video again. Now let's move over to the Armory. Not a lot has happened in the Armory yet, but what we're starting to see is some early movement. A good example is the M4 Fade, which is up almost 15% in the past week, and its move is purely speculative. Right now, nobody knows which collection Valve will remove next. The debate is mainly between the Sports and Field collection and the Overpass collection. Recently, the Overpass collection has been opened more, but historically, the Sports and Field has been opened more over a longer time period. And as we know, Valve usually removes the collection that makes them the least amount of money. At this point, I'd say roughly a 50-50 situation. Some bigger investors that I've talked to are confident that the Sports and Field collection is the one to go, while the overall market sentiment seems to lean towards the Overpass collection. Because of that, I'm personally staying a bit on the sidelines here. I think one of them is going, I just don't fully want to commit to which one. So what I've done is I've invested into both. Within the Armory, we have the Elemental Craft stickers, and they are also doing very well right now. They're slowly rising, and that makes sense. They're very popular, high craftable, and they work on a lot of different skins. I've mentioned these in previous videos, and the demand is clearly there. Outside of that, the Armory is fairly calm. Everyone is positioning right now and waiting for Valve's next move. So let's move over to collections, because I think that a lot of discontinued collections are being slept on right now. A great example is the graphics design collection. After it was removed, we saw the usual hype, then a dip, and then a recovery. And for a while, it's been moving sideways. Now we're starting to see a momentum build again. I sent out a buy signal just a few months ago in the Discord, and we're up about 80% off of that entry. And what's especially interesting is the demand always starts in the light blues, and historically, that demand usually moves up throughout the collection over time. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. If we look at collections like the Norse collection or the St. Mark collection, some of the most mythical collections we have in the game, we can see that steady, healthy growth continuing. And that's a really good sign. We're finally back to like how the graphs were looking before the whole knife trade up. Because for months, people were extremely focused on knife and gold trade ups. And because of that, collections were partially ignored. Now we're starting to see that demand rotate back into collections and the market is evening out again. For a long-term perspective, that's very healthy. Timing-wise, this could also make sense. Because around Christmas, the market is usually a bit slower. People sell items to afford gifts and expenses, and then right after Christmas, we often see this small hype phase over people receiving gifts or Steam gift cards and balance and stuff like that. So historically, the 26th to the 28th of December have been solid entry points, and that's what we're seeing again. So let's quickly jump on over to the Budapest Major. There's honestly not much to say yet. I'm still waiting for the sale. Application numbers are better than some recent majors, but we've seen the same thing with Paris, and that doesn't mean much for investing. The real data starts once the sale hits. That's when we can see supply, pricing, and actual buying opportunities. Till then, I'm staying patient. Lastly, I want to cover the agents. In my last video, I said that agents are starting to look good. And since then, many agents are up. Not all of them, obviously, but enough to show that the trend has shifted. Agents went from consistently moving down to finding a bottom and now slowly moving up again. Because of that, I still think agents offer a solid risk-reward opportunity, especially if you want to diversify a bit outside of cases and collections. So yeah, that's the current state of the CS2 investing market right now. We've covered some of the cases, collections, Armory, and agents. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the Discord and take care.